Hello dear student, today we are going to discuss few more details about this chapter current electricity. My dear students, this chapter will plays a crucial role in NEET as well as board point of view. So please watch the lecture till the end. Definitely you should love this lecture. Dear student, today's topic is differences between potential difference and EMF. Differences between potential difference and EMF. Generally, this question is asked as a board question. It's a board 2 marks question. So please observe carefully. What are the differences between potential difference and EMF? Potential difference. EMF. So EMF is nothing but here. Electromotive force. Electromotive force. Point number 1. Work done by electric force. To move a charge from one point of circuit to another point of circuit. What is meant by potential difference? Work done by electric force to move a charge from one point of circuit to another point of circuit is called potential difference. This is the definition of potential difference. What is the definition of EMF? How can we define EMF? Work done by chemical force. To move a charge from lower potential to higher potential. So is called EMF. My dear, observe carefully. What is the major difference between these two? Here the definition are almost all same. So only thing is here work is done by electric force. Here work is done by chemical force. Work done by chemical force to move a charge from lower potential to higher potential means EMF. Work done by electric force to move a charge from one point of circuit to another point of circuit is called potential difference. Next, point number 2. It is a cause. It is an effect. So it is an effect. EMF is an effect. It is an effect. It is an effect. It is a cause and it is an effect. Next. Potential difference. Sorry. It is effect. Potential difference is an effect and it is a cause. So you know already the meaning of cause. So it is a major reason for it is an effect. It is an effect in the circuit. Potential difference is an effect. It is a cause. Next. Potential difference exists only for closed circuit. Potential differences exist only for closed circuits. Only for a closed circuits. It is only exist for a closed circuits. EMF is exist for open circuits. EMF is an exist for an open circuit. Potential differences exist only for closed circuits. Next, fourth point. Potential difference is always less than EMF. Potential difference is always less than EMF. Here fourth point is EMF is always greater than potential difference. Greater than potential difference. EMF is always greater than potential difference. Next, fifth point. Potential difference is independent upon external resistances. Potential difference is independent upon external resistance. Sorry, it is dependent. Okay, so potential difference is depend upon external resistance. External resistance. And here EMF is independent upon external resistances. In a circuit. EMF is independent upon external resistance in the circuit. So these are the 5 important points. Generally this question is asked as a 2 marks or a 3 marks question. 2 marks or 3 marks questions in a board, CBSE board purpose. So observe carefully. Write the differences between potential difference and EMF. Potential difference definition. Work done by electric force to move a charge from one point of the circuit to another point of the circuit is called potential difference. EMF means, EMF is nothing but electromotive force. Work done by chemical force to move a charge from lower potential to higher potential is called electromotive force. Next, second point, it is an effect. It is a cause. It is effect and it is a cause. Potential differences exist only for the closed circuits. EMF is exist for the open circuits. Potential difference is always less than EMF. EMF is always greater than potential difference. Potential difference is dependent upon external resistances. EMF is independent upon external resistance of the circuit. So this is the overall main points of differences between potential difference and EMF. So next concept. Next concept, Kirchhoff's current law. Kirchhoff's current law is also called as Kirchhoff's first law. It is also called as Kirchhoff's junction law. Okay, Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's first law, or Kirchhoff's junction law, or Kirchhoff's node law. This is also called as Kirchhoff's node law. Okay, so this is the topic. Now we are going to discuss Kirchhoff's current law, Kirchhoff's first law. It is also called as Kirchhoff's junction law, Kirchhoff's node law. First of all, junction or node. What is the meaning of junction or a node? Two or more wires meets at a point is called can write like this: more than two wires. More than two wires meets at a point is called junction. Or node. More than two wires meets at a point is called junction or a node. Okay. So statement of Kirchhoff's first law. So here statement of first law is algebraic sum of the currents entering into the junction. Currents entering into the junction is equal to algebraic sum of currents entering into the junction is equal to algebraic sum of currents leaving from the junction. Leaving from the junction. So this is one statement, or it may be defined like this also. the total currents, the sum of total currents, meets at junction is equal to 0. The total currents, the sum of total currents meets at junction is equal to 0. So this is the statement. What is the basic statement? If you write the statement like this, or it may be like this. Algebraic sum of currents entering into the junction is equal to algebraic sum of currents leaving from the junction. Otherwise, the sum of the total currents meets at junction is equal to 0. So this is a statement. Next, Kirchhoff's first law is depends upon Kirchhoff's first law is depends upon law of conservation of charge. It depends upon law of conservation of charge. So Kirchhoff's first law is depends upon law of conservation of charge. This point is very, very important. So Kirchhoff's first law is depends upon law of conservation of charge. So what is meant by conservation of charge? Charge is neither be created nor be destroyed here. That means before the process, whatever the sum of the charges, after the process, so the sum of the charges will be same. Okay, charge will be same before the process and after the process, charge will be same. That is called law of conservation of charge. So Kirchhoff's first law is mainly depends upon law of conservation of charge. Okay, so this is the statement, and this is very important point. So now we will discuss few more details about this Kirchhoff's first law. Actually, this is a junction. I consider this is a junction. So these are the wires, electric wires. These are electric wires. How many electric wires are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I consider 6 wires. These 6 wires are meeting point. This is called junction. What is this? Junction. So more than 2 wires meets at a point is called junction. So here I consider I1 is current entering into the junction, I2 is the current leaving from the junction, here I3 is entered, I4 is leaving, and here I5 is entered and I6 also entered. Okay, this is one example. Okay, so observe carefully. So here it is a junction, this is a junction, here it is junction. So apply Kirchhoff's first law here. What is a statement about Kirchhoff's first law? Algebraic sum of all the currents, the currents entering into the junction is equal to sum of the currents leaving from the junction. What are the currents entering into the junction here? I1 is entered according to Kirchhoff's first law, or a node law or junction law. Sum of the currents entering into the junction is equal to sum of the currents leaving from the junction. Sum of the currents leaving from junction. So what are the currents entering into the junction? So what are the currents entering into the junction here? I1 current is entered, I1, and I3 current is entered plus I3, and I5 current is entered, I6 current is entered. What are the currents leaving from the junction? I2 current is leaving from the junction. I2, arrow mark, you just observe carefully. I2 current is away from the junction, means it is leaving from the junction. Here this direction indicates away from the junction. That means I2 current is leaving from the junction. I2, and this I4 current is leaving from the junction. I4 current is leaving from the junction. So only I2 and I4 are leaving from the junction. Okay, so this is then we can write this one as I1 plus I3 plus I5 plus I6 minus I2 minus I4 is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Okay. So this is an example, and like this we have to apply Kirchhoff's first law. Sum of the currents entering into the junction is equal to sum of the currents leaving from the junction. It is mainly depends upon law of conservation of charge. Okay, that means whatever the currents, total current, the total charge leaving from the junction is equal to the total charge entering into the junction. That's why it depends upon law of conservation of charge. My dear, are you understood? Again, I will explain. Observe carefully. Why this law depends upon law of conservation of charge, because the total charge entering into the junction is equal to the total charge leaving from the junction. So that's why this law is mainly depends upon law of conservation of charge. So now we will solve one numerical problem based upon this first law. After completion of this, we have to enter into Kirchhoff's second law. So we will discuss Kirchhoff's second law. So now we will discuss one example problem, one numerical based upon this Kirchhoff's first law. Kirchhoff's first law. Okay. So observe carefully this example problem. Example 1. Okay, so this is some I1 current, I2 current, this is I3 current, here it is some I4 current, I5 current, I6 current. Okay, so here this is some 1 amp, this is some 2 amps. Okay, so this we need to find, and again this is some 4 amps, this is some 6 amps. This we need to find. So find I3 and I5 from given figure. So find I3 and I5 values. Well, to continuing my lecture on the topic Kirchhoff's first law, numerical 1. Here one network diagram is given. Based upon this figure, observe carefully this figure. Here how many junctions are there? This is a junction 1. And here it is a junction 2. So 2 junctions are there. So we need to find here I3 and I5 values. I3 and I5 values. So apply solution. Apply Kirchhoff's first law. At J1. Junction 1. From Kirchhoff's first law, you know already, sum of the currents entering into the junction. Sum of currents entering into the junction into the junction J1 is equal to sum of the currents leaving from the junction. Sum of the currents leaving from the junction. Junction J1. Okay. What are the currents entering into the junction J1? This is I1 current is entered here. So I1 current is entered. Next I2 current is leaving and I3 current is leaving. Okay. So current entering into junction is I1 only. Leaving from the junction is I2 plus I3. So I1 value is 1 amp and I2 value is 2 amp. I3 value we don't know. I3 value. I want I3 value. I3 is equal to 1 minus 2. So 1 minus 2. So can you take this is some 3 amps because we'll get positive value. Okay. So 3 amps. So then this is we consider as 3. Okay. I1 value is 3. Okay. This is entering into the junction. I2 and I3 are leaving from the junction. So finally we get I3 is equal to 3 minus 2 that is equal to 1 amp. 3 minus 2 that is equal to 1 amp. I3 value we got 1 amp. Next, apply Kirchhoff's first law at J2, junction J2. Apply Kirchhoff's first law at junction J2. So here also sum of the currents entering into the junction. Sum of the currents entering into the junction J2 is equal to sum of the currents leaving from the junction J2. What are the currents entering into junction J2? I3 current is entered, I4 current is entered, I3 current is entered, I4 current is entered. What are the currents leaving from the junction? I5 current is leaving from the junction and I6 current also leaving from the junction. So here substitute values, you know already I3 value. I3 value is 1 amp. This value is 1 amp. And I4 value is 4 amps. I4 value is 4. I5 value we need to find. I6 value 6. So then I5 is equal to. So you can take this one as this is a sum. This is a I4 value. You can take some. Some 7 amps. Okay. So I4 value is 7. I consider. I am changing here just for getting positive values. Okay. No need to worry about that. I4 value is 7 amps. I consider. I3 value is 1 amp. We got here 7 plus 1 8. 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6. That is equal to we got 2 amps. So finally, what we got answer here? I3 is equal to 1 amp. I5 is equal to 2 amp from this diagram. So I hope all of you understood this. Like these questions are given, we are easy to find unknown electric currents. If you know the known values, unknown electric current values are easy to find by applying Kirchhoff's first law. I hope all of you understood this lecture. In next lectures, further lectures, I am going to discuss few more details about this chapter, current electricity. So all should practice this concept and solve few numericals based upon this concept. Definitely we will get a clear idea about this topic. All the very best.